Where there are the ponds that get their water from the pepper stream. And also here, this is where the pepper stream flows into the Pedali River from the pipe. And these are some old pictures from the Valga city park. And here we can see that the pepper stream was much more pronounced and prominent in the park, and it was also used for leisure activities. This must be a photo from the beginning of 20th century. And this is it from our side.
Yeah, we keep it short, so we know that the lecturers have many interesting facts about water bodies and townscapes. So let's begin with Katrin Koov.
So I was asked to talk about urban streams, but I must say that I'm not a specialist of streams or waters, so I just put together some thoughts that came with this proposal and this competition, which is a really nice way to think of urban landscape through these small hidden layers. So to start from the larger scale, I looked at Estonian encyclopedia. This is the map of water bodies, the main rivers that are flowing through the country. And as you can see, Valga is like a dry place, no rivers passing the city. But actually, if you look closer, there are the picture is different. And if we look at the names of the streets, it tells the story that this is the city of different water bodies, rivers, streams, ditches, etc. And so it what I tried to say that this is a value, and many of these values are hidden at the moment. And the task of architects and landscape architects is mainly to reveal these hidden potentials, to make them visible and working. Here comes the row of my favorite map players, which is the relief layer of this map site called Maa-ameti kaardiserver, which is the collection of maps describing different qualities of Estonia. So it's the whole country, and Valga at the very edge of it. Then coming closer, we can see that Valga is situating between these higher areas in Otepää and Haanja, and in Latvia as well. And we can also detect already here in this scale the remains of Ice Age. All these landscape formations are actually designed by ice, either these long shapes or these bumps here, and also the ancient, not ancient, but Ice Age rivers. So here is even better visible how it comes, and here we already see that this is connected with this Väike Emajõgi that feeds Võrtsjärv. And coming closer, we see that the railways are coming together here in this point, and this landscape form continues in northern Latvia as well. And step by step coming closer to the city, and here we can clearly detect that Pedeli river forms the main body of the city. City is the southern bank and northern bank of this riverbed, which is here forming a chain of lakes. And the other one, which is more hidden, comes from this east-south direction and joins somewhere here the main river. Coming even closer, we can see how this small stream, which is not almost visible, actually has formed a large part of the city urban landscape, and how people have used this feature made by this small stream, like this a sports stadium is created in this stream basin. Yeah, and also the city park. This is the only place actually where the water is clearly visible, but the riverbed is goes like that through the city, and then it joins, and somewhere here it disappears, but the name Water Vee tänav, Water Street, says something about this history of this place. And here are the names of Valga waters. There are many of them, and to try to describe them, what they do for the city or for the wider surrounding. The biggest one, Pedeli River, feeds Väike Emajõgi, that feeds itself Võrtsjärv, and then goes further to Suur Emajõgi through Tartu and to Peipus Lake. And also within Valga it shapes the city. The next one, Pipraoja, also as I showed, as the maps show, it designs the city or gives opportunities for city forms. The next one, Konnaoja, the frog stream, in translation, is the border stream. Very small one, but very important. And then there is another stream, Ränioja, that is a border between the city living area and the industrial area, or again clearly divides the functions of the city. Then Tamproja, this is the important summer area for summer houses, and for other summer activities. Plus, there are 2 swamps within the city borders, Ussiso and Plantsiso, and also some ditches, Võsakraal and Ussiso Kraav. So we see there are lots of different water bodies. But also that's something interesting I found searching the names. Valga is missing a natural lake, but then they have named this artificial okay, the parts of the rivers are named as lakes. So that's interesting. There are lots of lakes along the river. That's something that Valga longs for. And there is an important park in the middle of Valga that is under environment protection, and this year is very important because this summer it gets 60 years from this decision at Soviet time when this park was listed as a protection area, together with these boulevards. So, and one more interesting fact that just if to look at the maps, some interesting information that Pipraoja starts from these wetlands next to railway, but then it goes along this dam building, the road building, and only after that it continues along its natural riverbed. So it's interesting spatial situation that the stream is goes along the positive landform, which is a road dam, and then it disappears for some 100 meters. So next issue would be the question: what to do with this potential? Shall we open it, or shall we do something else? And what would be the features or the reasons what we get by doing it? It might be that opening the stream opens also or provides better provides different richnesses by biodiversity, the biological richness, and then social richness, cultural richness, and also spatial richness. That it means that it with one action we get so many different values. If we reveal the water, not only ecological but also other qualities, and that's why it's very important to start with a good brief, which means that all the parties, different people should be involved with these discussions. I mean, the city, the community, and the citizen, each at the different level, the city level, the community level, and the personal level. And then all issues are important, not just ecological benefits or not single benefits, but all this richness together makes the good brief that we need to think of nature, of built environment, of local stories, of traditions, of health, of the way of living, and of also the climate change challenges, education, also the demographical processes. What are the qualities if there are less and less people, and also we should not forget the poetics of these actions. So, and all these issues together means that we need to cooperate with the different people, different, talk to different issues with each other, and only then we can maybe write pretty short brief what we want to do. And then I was asked how to design this process, and I very shortly describe one possible way of design thinking, of planning the process, how to test, how to come up with the ideas and how to test them before making final actions. So first thing should be defining the problem, then studying the background, discovering the site, and third part is must be this empathy, understand the place, understand these people or the situation, and then design something. So the first ideas, make a prototype and then test them and make corrections, and then present your ideas to get the feedback. And then maybe you have to redefine the problem and then go to another round. So this is the way the work could be done, or of course this is just one way of thinking, but it works pretty well in different problem solving situations when you want to get some result that is not just fantastic and beautiful, but also discussed and tested. Yeah, and this is it, the whole process together. Couple of examples to show that Valga is not an exception. The similar situations we can find in different Estonian towns like Rakvere, where there is a soolikoja that creates city parks And also Võru has a stream. I don't show the river cities with the larger rivers, but I looked for small streams, and Rakvere and Võru are good examples, similar situations where they have worked with streams, especially. So here is also this lake-like formation, Korelioja, which is very recently refurbished, and people seem to be like it. Yeah, coming back to Valga, another historical photograph that shows that the river has been important leisure area and central, also ecological hotspot for the city. And the last part of my presentation is something tries to connect the language and the nature, which is onomatopoeia, which is the part of language that tries to what is the word? Somebody helps me. Matkima.
Imitate.
Yeah. Thank you. Tries to imitate the voices that nature makes, and water is a substance that makes it possible. Here are some words that are in Estonian, and they are describing different types of waters. So the first one, sulin, vulin, solin, mulin, tries to describe especially a stream for me, that the small water, flowing water that makes such sounds. Then something much bigger like pahin, vuhin, kohin, nuhin. And then maybe wintertime river or stream, sihin, vihin, sahin, suhin. And then something that drops from higher to lower, sorin, sirin, surin, vurin. Such nice words in Estonian. And this onomatopoeia leads to think that the language and culture and nature are really close to each other. And when we take time and listen to it, and then it provides both mental balance and also environmental balance as well. It's just that we have to listen to it, and then we can find the harmony. Kooskõla. Thank you.
Thank you, Katrin.
Thank you.
I think we can take a couple of questions. Where there? Maria. Maria is applauding, not raising her hand. But I think we can take a couple of questions before we give word to Jürgen. Does anyone have questions for Katrin? Okay, if not, then I am just reading.
There is one in the chat, Mari.
Oh,
sorry.
In the chat there are some questions.
Yes, I was planning to read them out loud because I think Angelika and Lenna from Valga municipality, they already answered the questions, but I will just read them out loud so everybody can hear later too. So the question was, is this pepper ditch water bearing all year round or just when it is raining? And Lenna is answering, the stream can remain empty in very dry summers. What are these limitations for reopening the pepper ditch, if there is any?
And are private-owned properties where the ditch, are there any private-owned properties where the ditch is piped under? And Angelica is saying that the Pepper stream runs on private properties above ground. But about the limitations, maybe you can elaborate a bit more. Or maybe I know that Jürgen has also some slides about this topic, and maybe we can see if his slides will answer, and if not, then we can come back to this question.
Yeah, maybe I can add just myself one thought. I think is more important that if we make in the cities eco-technological works, opening something, rebuilding something, I think it's really important that architects and landscape architects are also involved because of this benefit that within one change we can get so much more if we think of the design as well and the senses and etc. Not just the function, ecological function it could provide. That's why in other cities in Europe and worldwide, there are lots of rivers and streams are opened and they are designed as public areas. So it means that it's not a just technical issue, but also gives so much more to the city and to people.
Yes, there are many benefits. So, but let's move on to Jürgen. Are you here?
Yes. So let's see if now my slides will open correctly. Okay, do you see my slides?
Yes, all good.
Okay. Yes, so my name is Jürgen, and yeah, as Katrin said that she's not an expert about streams, but my expertise is in stream ecology, but I'm not an expert in city planning or room planning. So I think also that if we do some changes in the city, that there are so many parties and so many interests that we need to include architects and we need to include other parties like water companies or city officials or locals. But yeah, let's start then. So at first, why I think this topic is important is that, well, at first there is this decline of biodiversity overall in the world. For example, in Europe in last 50 years, the abundance or the number of fish that migrate in rivers and sea and lakes, it has declined about 93%. And all this decline and changes in the landscape hint to us that the natural processes that create an environment that we as humans need, that this is limited. So we need this nature that is in good condition for ourselves as well. But another topic that is interesting and might be a bit to social scientists is that there is a hypothesis that is named urbanization disgust hypothesis. That means that the more urbanization there is, the more people like drift away from nature, so they lose the connection, and it might develop into biophobia, which means that I hope you can see my mouse as well. So if someone receives an information, for example, it gets bitten by a bee, or hears someone saying that it got bitten by a bee, or reads about it, then there might be a small fear to the nature, and then people start to avoid nature or get rid of it from their gardens, and then it causes disconnection to the nature, and then this disconnection again feeds the fear of nature. So the more like bad information we get, the more fear we have as humans for nature. And yeah, there are two examples, two studies. That one was that the more parents use bad language about snakes and spiders, the more fear children had for the snakes and spiders. And the second one is that the more people knew about insects, specifically ladybugs, the more or the less discussed the ladybugs were for the people. So the more we know about nature, the more we like it. But now if we start to approach the water or aquatic life, then I wanted the main message is maybe that the water and the banks near water are really connected. And as an example, I will use the bug that lives in water, and its name is caddisfly. In Estonian, it's called puruvana, and most of its life it lives in the water. But then, as it gets adult, it flies out of water, and then after the stage outside of water, it does lay its eggs in the water or near the water, and then the life cycle starts again. So the young ones are in the water and the adults go outside of water. Now, before I will say a few words about ecology in water, then just look at the picture and try to compare it with some urban river or urban stream that you know, and is there something different or is there something missing? You can look at the banks and the water itself, and how deep is the water? Is it same or is it different? Is there something in the water? And I think if we consider how water moves in the city, then we can see like 3 steps. At first, it needs to come down. So it's raining or snowing, and then it reaches the ground, and from the ground it goes to the water body, and this area is called watershed, in Estonian Valga. And in natural areas, this is the ground mostly absorbs the water, and there are huge water reservoirs in the ground. So slowly the water moves through the ground and into the water body. But in the city, quite often we have a lot of streets and roofs. So the water goes to the pipes and then into the river, stream, or lake. And next, if we look at the stream or river reach, so yeah, imagine if you are at the river, then you can also see a really different picture. So on the left, there is more natural state, that you have low banks and something in the water. You have natural plants on the banks, and on the right side, you have this steep concrete banks. And yeah, when we think about what's important for aquatic life, then it's the quality. It's the quality of the stream and also the connectivity. If the animals in the river can move from one place to another along the stream, or from stream to the banks, and on the left side it's like the ideal version, and on the right side it's the worst condition. So in urban areas we often have not much room, so we can in some places we should aim some compromise in the between. And in scientific works, there is a term called urban stream syndrome. It means that in urban areas, there are so many different factors affecting the water body, and all of them together cause a really bad ecological state in the stream. So from one thing is that streets or roofs are impervious surfaces. That means that the water doesn't go through them, and because of that, the water goes really quickly into the pipes and then into the stream, which is changing the natural flow regime. And the water is guided fast away from the city, which causes in the summer there is less water, and then also the pollution is able to go quickly to the stream. Then the urban streams are often quite simplified. Like here you can see in the picture that it's really straight and similar. There is no variation. And there are missing elements like tree trunks or stones. For example, 3/4 of insects that live in the water, they need some object in the water to lay their eggs. But if there are no stones or trees or other objects in the water, then we eliminate quite a lot of amount of life in the streams. And also you can see that the water depth is almost similar all the way. And then the connectivity is also limited. In this stream, it's in Tallinn, and upstream from this place, there is a pipe, so the stream flows underground. So that means that the animals and the sediments cannot move so well. Then the banks are quite steep, and there are almost no local plants, or they are mowed quite intensively. And one really important aspect is that if the stream bed is similar overall, then the flow is also really similar, and the stream bed gets clogged with fine sediments, and the stream bed is then not a really good place for animals to live. But if in the natural streams, if we have objects in the water, then in some places there is sand, in some places there is mud, in some places stones, and this variation is really important. And all this urban stream syndrome declines the biodiversity, and then it limits how ecosystems function. For example, the stream is not able to clean itself so well, and it doesn't support really rich biodiversity. So this was all about ecology, but there are also other factors like Katrin told. It's how people can access the water, how beautiful it looks for us, and how we manage the water overall in the city. If we want to get rid of it really fast, or if we want to diffuse it and slow down the flow. Yeah, this is a really maybe not complex slide about how water and the banks are connected. For example, the spiders that live on the banks, about half of the yearly food that they will get actually comes from the stream. It's the water insects who fly out of the river, and then the spiders will eat them. And it's similar with birds, that during the year, the birds actually feed more on aquatic insects than on other insects. And the opposite, some fish species that live in the stream during the year, they also eat half of their food is the insects who are falling from trees and other plants to the water. So the banks and water are really connected. But if we change the streams and rivers a lot, for example, if we straighten them or remove the bank vegetation, then in one study they found that there are 70% less spiders, and we shouldn't assume that it doesn't affect all the other life and also us. If the habitat or ecosystem is not functioning well, then it might impact us as humans as well. Okay, so there are some elements that are missing from urban streams usually, and these elements are objects in the water. They might be tree trunks or stones, and there are missing local diverse plant assemblages on the banks and in the water. And then the banks quite often are steep, so the low angle banks are missing. And I think my question for the city planners and architects and for all of us is that how can we use these elements to sustain healthy urban nature that also is like pleasing for people. So like Katrin said, that we can, if we restore an urban stream, then we can have many benefits, not only ecological benefits, but we also need the expertise of many people. Now there are some examples, and I don't get into details about the samples, but we can see just that streams and rivers are so different, and also the ways people have restored them are so different. So there are many opportunities how to make an urban stream better, but we just need to learn from others and choose what is best for us. For example, in Germany, there was a small stream that's partly underground and partly was flowing in straight channelized river stream bed, and it was made into such diverse stream. And then another one in Germany, this on the right bottom, that flowed under the street, and it was brought out. Then in Denmark, there was in Aarhus city, there was a river under the street, but it was brought out. It's still not natural in these places, but it's a lot better than it was before. Similar thing in France. And in Australia, what I want to say here is that quite often there is this myth that we need to dig out the pipe, but actually we don't always need to dig out the pipe. Sometimes we can just create a new channel that comes on the ground and the water flows there, but the pipe underground still can be under the streets and take the rainwater from the streets. So there are many opportunities. Then Zurich in Switzerland, they have opened a lot of streams, about 30 years already. In USA, then this Cheng, okay, I cannot pronounce it, but in South Korea, it was almost the first river openings in the world, and that started like trend overall in the world that people wanted to open rivers. But this is a interesting example because it created a really nice recreation area, but it's actually not really green because they pump the water using fossil fuels to have this water in the new channel. So it's not naturally flowing there. Then in USA, there was a big parking lot. They turned it into a new development area. And between the houses, they brought out the stream. And now a bit more about the pepper stream. So again, this is a relief map. There is the Pedali River in the middle. And then with lighter blue, there are streams. And then with darker blue, there are drainage ditches. And I did get the information from the Valga water company. So the one with orange is the pepper stream water that is flowing underground in 1 meter diameter pipe. And I think this area is quite interesting because you can see that there is a valley, and in this area the stream goes down much quicker than here. It's steeper, and there might be like more interesting possibilities also as like city planners or architects to make rapids, or in Estonian kärastikud, and to use the flow in really diverse way. And what I think is pepper stream opening potential is, first, it's the biodiversity. It could be Valga's biodiversity hotspot because the places where water and land are near each other, they are quite biodiverse. And it could be also migration corridor between the middle of Valga and then the natural area near Valga. And it could also be the possibility to have more nature-friendly and flexible rainwater management, especially if in the future the rain might come down more quickly in more bigger amount. And then it also could be quite good recreation area for citizens that connects different parts of the city. And why I think Valga has a good potential to open the stream is that with the red color, there is municipality land, and with blue color, there is private property. So here you can see there are private properties on the way, but quite a lot of municipality property, so it makes easier to open it. Here is also municipality property. Yeah, that's what we see in Tartu, that in some places our stream flows under private lands and makes things more complicated. There are some old maps. Yeah, in the past there was even a water mill actually at the same place where the stadium is, which shows that the gradient of the stream is quite big there, so the flow is fast. Yeah, then some old maps. There is the pepper stream, and there are some additional small streams. And the airplane photo from 1944. You can see not really good, but the stream goes here. And then if you would zoom in, then you can see the stream a bit here and the line of trees where the stream probably flows. And this is maybe a question for you, but I don't know when the stream was put underground, but at least in the 70s or in the beginning of 70s, it seems to be mostly on the ground. And then at the end, I have a movie recommendation about this topic. It's Lost Rivers. It was made more than 10 years ago, but it's about rivers that flow underground in a few cities in the world, and also about restoration, about opening them up again. And then some really good map sources where you get old maps and old airplane photos. Valga is really fortunate because you have airplane photos from 1944, which is quite early. Yeah, thanks for thinking along. My final messages are that water and the bank area work together, and there is, if we want to support biodiversity, we need to get great variety in the environment and also learn from other countries, but choose the methods that fit Estonia. And then opening up of a stream is a long work, and at first we can also already do small steps. For example, like in this UK, under this ground there is a stream flowing, and they mark it with a make flowers and stones and like sculptures to show to people that there is a stream underground. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this very informative lecture, mini lecture. Does anyone have any questions for Jürgen?
Actually, there was before this question about if the water is all year round in the stream, and yeah, I don't know the stream so well. I'm not local. I would assume that based on the landscape, I think the water is mostly there. But even if the water is not there, then there is a specific field of study that is researching temporal streams. That means streams that doesn't have the water all the year round, and they still are really biodiverse places. So even if the water is not always there, it's still really valuable place.
There is also a question by Carlis. What is containing underground streams in Valga today? Are those concrete pipes? Okay, and Lenna Hingla has answered, partly in old concrete pipes and partly in new plastic pipes. And there is another question, if we could show the map on which specific piece we want to dig up the river, or the municipality of Valga plans in the course of future. So I could actually maybe show this. Okay.
Yeah, while you're searching, I'm also saying that we will publish more specific or more detailed maps on the 15th when the competition starts, and then we will show on the map exactly like in which areas for example, what Valga municipality expects there to happen. We will also give the information about the school kids, like we had an expedition with them, so what they proposed, and there will be like different areas with the functions shown on the map. And that this is like part of the competition brief that we will publish on the 15th. But yes, Marilyn, show the...
Oh yeah, like here is, so the dashed line is the Pepper stream, and the places that will be opened are along the stream. We will share more detailed information about it soon, but it's also to some extent up to participants as well to propose which parts definitely should be open. Yeah, and how the new trajectory of the stream could run. Yes.
I think in Valga with the Pepper stream is that as me and Katrin showed, that you can see on the relief map, you can see the old valley of the stream. So we can see that it flows in the pipe just almost where it was naturally. But in some cities, it's more difficult. You cannot see actually where it did flow. So you might just create a new flow channel, but here we know where it did flow.
Can you show again this water map?
If I could show it again.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I will share it.
Now I can answer these questions also. This main only minor limitation is that the stream cannot be open to the stadium. Anywhere else it is good if the use of space and the suitability and functionality of the urban space are followed. That was the answer this question before.
So does Valga local government like already has approved this idea, or it's still under discussion?
Yeah, we are approved, but we don't have enough how to say? Yeah, money. It is, yeah.
Okay.
But the idea came from the municipality itself, so we just picked it up, and the idea has been there for a while, as I understand. So so there is a will.
That's nice to hear. In some cities, it sounds much more difficult. But if the local government has the interest, I think it makes it so much easier.
And quite often the streams are in the way of developing lands, but I don't think it will be a major problem in Valga since it's not very dense or actively developing. So yeah, it seems like there are many benefits of opening it, and also not so many limitations apart from the resources, but there are different funding opportunities. So yeah, but let's start with the ideas then.
I know that Tallinn also plans to open one stream, not entirely, but partly. So there will be a race who is first in Estonia.
Also Tartu.
But in Tartu it takes much more time.
But Katrin, maybe you can say a few words if you want, or you can, about the Härjapea River competition in Tallinn, which took place in 2019, was it? So in Tallinn city center there is also a lost river, currently piped underground, and there was a competition to not entirely daylight it or bring it to the ground, but have some small interventions that would bring water closer to people, as you also mentioned in your last slide, Jürgen, like small interventions basically that can bring the river into people's minds. So can you maybe say a few words about the competition?
Yeah, well, it was an idea competition, as you will have now. So it's quite similar. Unfortunately, the process has stopped but in this case. But the idea was, to open up it with selected parts, but mostly creating a continuous chain of smaller interventions to talk about the story of this hidden river. And the winning entry was offering a dropping water, there's small tubes that are on the streets where the water drops down. It has a different design than a natural stream, of course, but or river, but the water is there. That's important, and there wasn't any limitation how to design this. Just the idea was to talk about the river, to tell the story, and this story can be told in many ways. Where it is possible, it's really nice to do it in an ecological way. Really open it in urban landscape, but where there are dense urban streets, and but still you want to show it somehow, then it might be more in a poetic way, or talking talking about the water, like translating it into another medium.
Do we have any more questions or thoughts?
I think we had a question, Marilyn. Do you want to make it a sentence?
The question that we discussed before. Yeah, me and Mari, we were discussing like usually the man-made landscapes often tend to be quite poor in biodiversity. But also there are examples of like really biodiverse man-made landscapes, or like landscapes where humans have intervened, not to say maybe man-made, but for example, wooded meadows, which are like very diverse ecosystems. And then we were thinking if like the new artificial riverbed or stream, the daylighted stream, if we design it so, could it be even more rich in life or even more biodiverse than the original one once was? Like, can we create a sort of hyper nature by design? Is it possible, or does any of you know any examples?
I think this is a really interesting question. Yeah, overall, the streams and areas near streams are really diverse already. And I think in the past, like if there was no human impact to this area, then the network of rivers and streams were so connected that how much it is connected, it impacts really much how many species are able to live there and come there. So in order to make it really diverse, it's also it will be important to deal with the dams and Pedere River and Emajõgi River, and then you would need to make it on much larger scale, I think. But on the other hand, if you only focus on the pepper stream and you create this environmental variation where you have room, and I think you can make it really diverse with this. So yeah, I think I don't have an answer. It's just a quick guess that probably you won't make it more diverse, more biodiverse than it was historically, but you can still make it really diverse. But it's just an assumption based on, I don't know, gut feeling.
Okay, I guess this is it. Thanks to everybody, and I guess we will wrap it up. Like the base materials and the submission form for the competition will be published like in more detail on 15th of April on Tandeems webpage, and then the entries can be submitted until 22nd of April. We have the process of selecting the winner is a combination of jury, the students who took part of the workshop that we held in Valga, and also public vote. All of these different voter polls will be combined into the solution. We will pick 3 winners who will receive a monetary prize of 500 euros. Yeah.
Yeah, and in the jury we have 3 members. We have Katrin Koov, Angelika Saaren, and Tuul Sepp, who is also an ecologist. So two of you are already here, and Tuul is joining us later. And each of the works will receive feedback on the webpage written by the jury. So it's a nice opportunity to have some feedback on your work, which is quite rare usually. Okay, but then thank you so much, Jürgen and Katrin, for the lectures, and everybody for listening. And good evening.
Bye.
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 Thank you and bye.